Mrs. McCormack,
Here.
Dr. Miskowitz,
Here.
Mr. Petruno, Mrs. Seward,
Here.
Mrs. Mendez.
Here.
Yeah. Hi, Mrs. Gandhi. This is just for a roll call vote. Hi. Just say here.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I want to draw your attention to, but we will not read in full, Sunshine Law, Statement of Videotaping of Public Portion of Board of Education Meetings, Public Comment Statement, and no smoking or vaping on school grounds. Can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, student impact.
Thank you. This summer, the district's extended school year ESY program ran from July 1st through August 12th, with a total of 111 students attending. Students worked on academics with staff as well as participating in gym, music, and science each week. Below are some additional highlights that enhanced the program. The Robertsville Fire Department visited the program, donating time to set up a water play station for students to enjoy outside with peers and staff. Goldie's Ice Cream Truck, sponsored by Scope, and the Giovinazzo family provided a sweet treat to all students and staff. Students worked on ordering their selection with various levels of support and social skills with peers on a hot sunny day. Finally, CPAG sponsored Spirit Days for Disability Pride Month. Students and staff dressed as their favorite literary characters, wore favorite hats, got silly with backward clothes, and wrapped up with beautiful sunflowers, all for a great cause. Now let's view a very short video, just so you can see what that time period looked like. Mrs. Tyrone, would you like to come up and say a few words?
Is it on? Yeah, okay. I just wanted to take a moment to recognize Allison Mortar, because I don't think anybody realizes how much work goes into the ESY program. She really is there supervising the entire summer. It takes so much organization, and she just is such an intricate part, and that video doesn't show how hard she works. So I just wanted you guys to all be aware of how much work she actually puts into it. And I wish she would have come tonight, but she's like, no, I don't like that type of attention. But she puts so many hours and effort into this inside and outside of work that I just want you guys to realize that.
I just want to add to that. Again, Dr. Miskowitz, actually, I mentioned it during the last board meeting as well. She reached out to Mrs. Tyrone and requested that we do a little tour of the ESY program in Abbott. And I want to thank her again, because quite honestly, it was really nice to see how well it was run. The students were very engaged, the teachers were amazing, and yeah, I mean, you guys are doing a great, great job, so thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Mrs. Mortar. You're not here, so hopefully you hear that, the kind words. Okay, announcements.
Okay, I do have an announcement that's not on the agenda, really just an update on the opening of our schools, which was very successful. We started on September 3rd with our staff opening and professional day. Thank you, Board of Education, for attending and seeing what we do to get our staff kicked off for the year. I then traveled around to every school with central administration, Mr. Caravello, Mrs. Tyrone, and Mrs. Gross. All of our buildings were in such phenomenal shape. Thank you, Buildings and Grounds. Thank you, teachers. Those classrooms, you should have seen them on day one. They look like they were set up all year long. So I really appreciate that. The front office staff in each building, welcoming parents, answering phone calls. We really, this seemed like one of our best years yet, that we're really starting. Even on September 3rd, our bus drivers went out and practiced their runs. So everyone gave a full effort here, and I do appreciate that, so thank you. Mr. Caravello, do you want to recognize the second announcement? No, I'll do it for you. So there's a certificate of excellence on the agenda for tonight. And thank you to Mr. Caravello. The Marlboro Township Public School District has received the Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting for its fiscal year 2023 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report from the Association of School Business Officials. The district's continued participation in the COE program is a testament to its commitment to transparency and high-quality financial reporting. And that starts with you, Mr. Caravello, so thank you.
Thank you. And I just wanted to give a big shout out to my assistant BA and my whole office staff that assists me throughout the year in achieving that goal. So thank you so much.
Great job. And you're always so thorough, and you answer all of our questions and really are super helpful. Thank you so much for that. And this is awesome, so thank you. Okay, the bus driver and building maintenance.
Sure. All abstracts were run and all have privileges in good standing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, public comments.
I do not have a list in front of me, and I don't see anybody on the list on my phone. Would anybody like to speak?
Okay. Motion to close public comments. Do I have a second? Ashley? Any discussion? Okay. Communications. HIB?
Harassment intimidation report from the time period August 16th through September 5th, 2024. There were no incidents.
Thank you. Upcoming meeting dates, Tuesday, October 15th and Tuesday, November 19th are regular meetings. All right, approval of minutes resolution. Michael?
Approval of minutes resolution. Number one, approval of minutes. Be resolved that the minutes of the following meetings be approved as submitted. February 20th, executive. March 5th, executive. March 19th, executive. April 16th, executive. April 25th, executive. April 30th, executive. May 7th, executive. May 28th, executive. June 18th, regular and executive. July 16th, regular and executive. August 13th, special and executive. I so move.
Thank you. And do I have a second? Ashley? Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Dr. Miskowitz?
Yes, on all except for June 18th. I'll abstain on that one.
Okay.
For both regular and executive.
Thank you. Mr. Petrino?
Yes.
Mrs. Seward?
Yes to all except April 30th.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Palomo?
Yes.
Mrs. Gandhi?
Yes to everything but April 16th.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hyatt?
Yes.
Mrs. McCormack?
Yes.
Mr. Olansky?
Abstain from April 25th, yes to everything else.
Thank you. And Mrs. Mendez?
Yes to everything but abstaining from July 16th.
Thank you.
Okay, Secretary Business Administrators Report.
Yep, so this is the, just to catch up through the summer, this is the submission of the Secretary Monthly Reconciliation Points reports for July and August of 2024.
Thank you. Committee reports. Annette, Communications.
The Communications Committee met on Thursday, September 5th, 8:45 in the morning. Myself, Mr. Wolanski, and Morgan were in attendance. I'm sorry, Ms. Gross. We have some curriculum updates and a video presentation coming out. A communication will be shared with the community reviewing curriculum updates for the new academic school year, including where to find curriculum information and how to ask questions, including the chain of commands. So please look out in your emails for that communication. We have an upcoming community event. The committee discussed a night for a community to gather to celebrate the Year of Respect. More details forthcoming and will be shared at the October board meeting. The coffee chat is kind of evolving this time around for more of a town hall feel. The committee discussed scheduling a town hall meeting / coffee chat depending on space availability. The meeting could be held at Marlboro Middle School on October 9th in the evening, so just pencil that in. It's not a hard date yet, but we were hoping to have more of the community tell us what the topic could be for coffee chat this time around instead of locking it into just one specific topic. So, you know, what it looks like right now is a town hall format where we could call a meeting a town hall instead of like an actual board meeting, and all board members can be in attendance to answer community questions. We can have some admin. We're just, you know, moving through the options to expand coffee chat, which is really exciting. And that's all.
Sorry, when did you say you were planning on doing that, the town hall thing?
October 9th in the evening. Is that okay? Okay.
Thank you, Annette. Thanks to the Communications Committee. Buildings and Ground.
Yeah, so the Buildings and Grounds Committee has a lot to report on. We were able to, on Friday, August 26th, Mr. Caravello and myself were able to complete building walkthroughs where we got the opportunity to see the completion of recent upgrades to the facilities. These improvements have significantly enhanced our educational environment and community spaces. At Dugan, the new blacktop playground stands out with its modern layout, smooth surface, and new vibrant colored activity space, offering a safe and beautiful play area for students. Accessibility paths have been installed at multiple schools, ensuring that all children can access playgrounds with ease, which represents a major step forward in inclusivity. DeFino and Morrell received essential blacktop repairs, revitalizing these areas and improving safety for everyone. The completion of the small auxiliary gym at MMS marks a substantial upgrade to the facilities, providing students with a versatile space for physical activities with new modern flooring. David Abbott's playground features new equipment and enhanced safety measures that will benefit the entire school community. These improvements collectively reflect a commitment to creating better, more accessible, and safer environments for our students and staff, and we're excited for the children to enjoy the improved spaces during the new school year. Additionally, the new generator for David Abbott has been ordered, and the lead time from the manufacturer has been projected at about 26 to 36 weeks. The contractor will start doing work on second shift throughout the school year so that when the generator is received, they can wait for a school closure or extended break to hook it up. Marlboro Elementary School District HVAC project has been approved and the units have been ordered. The lead time for equipment is the delay as the contractor is mobilized and ready to go. They will be installing these and working on them throughout the school year with the hopes of this project being completed towards the end of the school year or the beginning of next summer. The winning bid for this project was about $200,000 below what was projected. The Dugan exterior door project will be going out to bid soon, and they will be scheduled to be replaced throughout the school year as well as during extended breaks throughout the year.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Danielle.
I have a little asterisk to add to that as well from communications. Vinny provided us with a lot of before and after photos of all the work that was done over the summer, so just keep an eye out on the BOE Facebook page to see more detailed images of what all those projects completed and in progress, and visually it sounds, I mean, it looks much more than what it sounded, so it was really impressive, and appreciate the content.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Mandatory hearing, Michael, and report on NJDOE?
Yes, we are mandated to have 2 hearings per year, and this information applies to the second hearing from the period of January 2024 through June of 2024. There were 13 incidents of violence and vandalism for that time period, which is actually down 6 from last year, so we are moving in the right direction. And then I'll move on to the report on the self-assessment for HIB. Beginning with the 2011-2012 school year, our district has conscientiously implemented the requirements found in the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights Act by establishing, implementing, and assessing HIB programs in the district. As you know, we've also updated the policy recently, so we're sure that everybody is trained appropriately. Looking at trends, our HIB scores or HIBs continue to decline. So over the course of the last 3 years, we have had a sharp decline in confirmed HIBs. So we are certainly moving in the right direction. Again, I know with the policy committee we've implemented some changes as well. So my hope is that we will continue moving in that direction. But I am very proud to report that our HIBs are down. Thank you.
That is great. Thank you for that. Okay, moving on, we're gonna just have a briefer discussion than last time on the board goals. You all, as board members, should have a copy of the revisions in front of you. I know I had emailed them, just a couple of revisions based on our feedback from the last meeting, and I think I didn't hear otherwise, but this is our time to discuss any of those changes. If you're all in agreement with it, then it will be posted to the MTPS website, and then these are the goals we'll live to for this school year. So I just wanted to draw your attention to it again in case you didn't have it. A couple of things that we added to student achievement. So for anybody, I'm not going to read it all again, but there is a goal in here on student achievement and making sure that we are celebrating all levels of student achievement, which is the addition that we had last time. So I think the conversation was we want to recognize all students at different achievement levels. So we made a modification to also include celebrate all levels of student achievement by recognizing various forms of success, including academic excellence, personal growth, perseverance, and contributions to the school community. So we added that along with the rest of the objective that was already there. And we added in a milestone to work, obviously, in collaboration with the district to establish a recognition program that highlights multiple forms of student success that may include, but is not limited to, academic improvement, leadership, creativity, and community involvement. So we want to celebrate everybody. And so that's under student achievement. The other goal was enhance stakeholder engagement and communication. And some of you had talked about meeting minutes and ensuring that committee meeting minutes are available. I think people were asking for that. And so we added in a fourth milestone to ensure that minutes from Board of Education committee meetings are made accessible to the community through the district website. So that's the addition to that one that we talked about last time. And so that's there as well. Any board members, if you want to share anything or thoughts, please chime in. The other piece was foster a safe and respectful school environment. And we added in a 5th milestone there, well, in 4 and 5. And so 4 had a little bit of a wording change. Throughout the year, promote a culture of respect and leadership by example across the district. And in this one, we talked about adding in our pillars of respect, if you remember that conversation. So that's included in number 4. So we added the pillars of respect, citizenship, trustworthiness, responsibility, positivity, and kindness into all school activities, staff development, student programs, and community interactions, with recognition events to celebrate those who embody these values. And then we had a nice conversation around professional development, and we were figuring out where to add that. So in number 5, board members will attend professional development training on bullying, discrimination, and hate speech to gain a deeper understanding of prevention strategies and the enhancement of related policies. We will review impacted policies to ensure continuous improvement in addressing these critical issues within the school environment. And that one we talked about, just we would identify what some key policies are for this board, and then the next board can do something similar. And so that's what we had there. We didn't have any modifications to promoting fiscal responsibility and resource allocation. I think everybody was in agreement with what was included there. There was a policy development goal as well, and there were just a couple of modifications about reviewing key policies. So number 3, schedule annual reviews of key policies to ensure they remain relevant and effective, make necessary updates when needed, and create a list and conduct an annual review of these key policies. And then number 4 is ensure district-wide enforcement of all policies with clear accountability measures to guarantee adherence and address any issues effectively. So that was it for the modifications from our last meeting. Board members, anything you want to share, concerns, anything you want to modify again, or you're okay?
For our meeting minutes, can you explain how security meeting minutes will be kept to not impact, you know, if those meeting minutes are going to be made public, how are we going to keep some of the more confidential security measures of the district?
Yeah, absolutely.
Redacted?
I would just say, do you have any thoughts on that, Michael, for the safety and security meeting that you chair? Your meeting minutes?
Anything that we wouldn't mention here in public, because safety and security, I guess will have to be redacted of some sort, right? Vinny, you can do that?
You would just generalize the topic to the extent that you can. You just wouldn't go into specifics.
Right.
Anything else, Danielle, on that? No? Okay. Anybody else have any thoughts, discussion on it? Okay. So, Michael, I think you wanted to talk about the district goals?
Sure. So to work in conjunction with the board's goals, much like what we did last year. So the district would like to choose the top 3. So student achievement, enhancing stakeholder engagement and communication, and fostering a safe and respectful school environment will be the district goals. Thank you.
And just to be clear, then I think, or for me anyway, then underneath that, right, I know it's just a topic right now, and then I guess you sit down, right, the process, you work with administration.
Yes. So we had a preliminary discussion knowing what the board's draft was, and if anything changed, we would make the change. But now we will sit down as an admin team and figure out what those 3 goals look like.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Financial and business operations matters. Annette?
Financial and business operation matters. The superintendent of schools submits the following resolutions for approval. 1, transfers. 2, list of bills. 3, secretary monthly reconciliation reports. 4, travel. 5, harassment, intimidation, and bullying report. 6, out-of-district placement for the 24-25 school year. 7, amended resolution, out-of-district placement for the 24-25 school year. 8, approval of the 24-25 school year coordinated transportation routes with MOESC. 9, amended resolution for Monmouth Ocean Educational Services Commission non-public nursing services agreement. 10, home instruction. 11, resolution rejecting all bids and directing release of competitive contract for work at the Marlboro Public Schools. 12, non-public school requests for security purchases under the New Jersey Non-Public Security and Program for the 24-25 school year. 13, non-public school requests for technology purchases under the New Jersey Non-Public Technology and Program for the 24-25 school year. Number 14, donation from scope. Number 15, approval of purchase and sale agreement for the board's property on the corner of Tennant Road and Union Hill Road, Lot 1 in Block 268.07. Number 16, state contract purchases. I so move.
Thank you. We have a second? Aditi? Discussion? Okay, roll call.
This
Oh,
isn't
go ahead.
really a discussion, it's more for curiosity's sake, but
Go ahead.
any idea what's happening with the property on the corner of Tennant and Union Hill? Do you know who bought it?
I do,
Is
but I
it-
believe it's zoned for, I think the zoning is for residential, so I think it's gonna be a residential
Yeah, all right.
developer.
Okay, thanks.
But this is from the bid that we had opened up back in November, and with the transition with legal firms, we had to finish the real estate contract with the buyer. So this is what's being approved.
Yeah, no, of
Yeah.
course, I was just curious, thanks.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Hyatt,
Yes.
Mr. Holonsky,
Yes.
Mrs. McCormack,
Yes.
Dr. Miskowitz,
Yes.
Mr. Petruno,
Yes.
Mrs. Palomo,
Yes.
Mrs. Gandhi,
Yes.
Mrs. Seward,
Yes.
and Mrs. Mendez.
Yes. Personnel matters, Danielle?
The superintendent of schools submits the following resolutions for approval. 1, resignations. 2, termination of employment contract. 3, employment, certificated staff. 4, employment, school aides. 5, reassignment and amended salary, certificated staff. 6, amended hours and salary, non-certificated staff. 7, bus drivers, hours and salaries, 2024-2025 school year. 8, bus attendants, hours and salaries, 2024-2025 school year. 9, curriculum, ed camp, professional day presenters. 10, child study team evaluations and meetings. 11, extracurricular activities advisor. 12, stipend, longevity, instructional assistant. 13, stipend, mentor teachers. 14, mentor induction. 15, substitute teachers. 16, substitute courier. 17, substitute secretaries, transportation. 18, substitute bus attendant. 19, paid medical disability leave. 20, unpaid leave of absence. 21, amended resolution, leave dates. I so move.
Thank you. We have a second? Michael? Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Mrs. McCormack?
Yes, abstain from 15.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Miskowitz?
Yes.
Mr. Petruno?
Yes.
Mrs. Seward?
Yes.
Mrs. Gandhi?
Yes.
Mr. Hyatt?
Yes.
Mr. Holonsky?
Yes.
Mrs. Palomo?
Yes.
And Mrs. Mendez?
Yes. Policy development, Aditi?
Policy development and community relations matter. 1, second readings. I so move.
Have a second? Dr. Miskowitz? Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Mr. Petruno?
Yes.
Mrs. Seward?
Yes.
Mrs. Palomo?
Yes.
Mr. Hyatt?
Yes.
Mr. Holonsky?
Yes.
Mrs. McCormack?
Yes.
Dr. Miskowitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Gandhi?
Yes.
And Mrs. Mendez?
Yes. Okay, moving on to the liaison reports. Freehold Regional.
I don't have an update this month on Freehold.
Thank you. MEF, Annette.
I have an update from Jen Salachi, President. The Marlboro Educational Foundation looks forward to being able to support local students, teachers, and community to benefit the whole township. We will continue to update as events happen.
Thank you. Marlboro Liaison, Township.
September 11th, Patriot Day ceremony will be held tomorrow, Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. I have a flyer here if anybody's interested to look at it after the meeting. It's here. Voter registration deadline is October 15th. Deadline to apply for a vote by mail ballot is October 29th. Save the date for the rabies clinic to be held on October 26th from 10 a.m. to noon.
Thank you. Monmouth County School Boards.
The Monmouth County School Boards is having a hybrid virtual in-person meeting on October 1st, so I'll report back after that.
Thank you. NJSBA.
Nothing to report.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to school updates. So our liaisons. We will start with Abbott. Chad.
Can you circle back to me? I have to check my email. I didn't print it. I'm sorry.
Sure. Asher. Aldo.
Yeah, I just want to thank Ms. Silmy and Ms. Oren for sending this over. The first days back for teachers and students were both exciting and successful. The Asher PTA provided the ice cream emergency truck for staff as a sweet treat to welcome them back on September 3rd. On September 4th, students entered Asher with big smiles, ready to start the new year. The PTA has already planned an amazing calendar of events, while kickoffs with an Ice Pop Social on September 12th. They have their first in-person PTA meeting on September 20th at 9:30 a.m., followed by Fall Picture Day on September 24th. Don't forget about Asher's Back to School Night on September 25th. It's a shortened day for students, followed by a parent-only night evening starting at 7 p.m. Lastly, remember to complete your PTA checklist, join the PTA, add your child to the student directory, order spiritware, decide on the Route 9 shopper card, and prepare for a year of fun. Since September will be gone in a flash, you can look forward to a fall book fair, an awesome BMX bike assembly, the renowned Monster Mash, Spooky Gym, and a Halloween parade all in October. Please be sure to check your email for announcements and reminders from the school and the PTA so you always stay in the know. Welcome back. We look forward to an awesome school year.
Thank you.
I can do Abbott now.
Go ahead, Chad.
Sure. So for Abbott from Mr. Perno, so school year's off to a great start. Students and staff have quickly gotten to know one another. Their routines are setting in, which is fantastic. They were thankful for some buildings and grounds improvements, including preschool playground has received several upgrades and looks great. These include new rubberized surface, sidewalks, umbrellas, some of the stuff you mentioned, and picnic tables. Open house was well attended. They had a few weeks ago. And he is looking forward to the back to school night, which is September 18th. So back to school night for Abbott is September 18th. That's it.
Thank you. Defino.
They have back to school night coming up on Monday, September 16th, and Defino is very excited to welcome all the parents and students.
Thank you. Dugan.
Thank you, Robin Bornstein, for providing this report for me. The playground playdate took place on August 26th on the Dugan Playground. It was a wonderful turnout, and everyone had a great time catching up with old and new friends. It was such an exciting way to start the new school year. The staff enjoyed a wonderful back-to-school luncheon provided by the PTO on September 6th. Thank you so much to everyone who donated. It was a great way to welcome the staff back for the new year. The first PTO membership meeting will take place on Wednesday, September 18th at 7:30 p.m. Please join us to hear about all the wonderful things that will take place for students during the school year. This is also a mandatory meeting for anyone interested in being considered for class parent. The back to school dance will take place Friday, September 20th. Registration is currently open and will close on September 16th. The event is free for current PTO members. The dance is $15 for non-PTO members and includes PTO membership. Looking forward to seeing our Dugan families for our first big event of the school year. The school supply drive is currently taking place. Items are being collected for Children's Specialized Hospital. Please see the e-blast sent on September 8th with the wish list of items being collected. Donations can be sent in with your child or dropped off in the vestibule until September 25th. The Route 9 discount cards were sent home with students in their folders on the first day of school. It is a great resource to save money on purchases at local merchants. The cards are $20 and can be paid for on PT Board. Additional cards can be purchased on PT Board as well. If you are not interested in purchasing the card that was sent home, it is due back to the PTO by September 30th. The first school store will be held on September 27th. Students can bring cash to purchase items during their lunch period. The first Spirit Day is also on September 27th. Our Dugan Dragons can show their school spirit by wearing their Dugan Spirit wear or coming dressed in green or yellow.
Thank you. Morel?
The first PTO meeting and parent social was held this evening. There will be an ice cream social for all the PTO members and their families on 9/13 with the food truck beginning at 5 p.m. Back to school night will be held on 9/26 from 7 to 9. Dining for Dollars will be held at Playa Bowl on 9/26. Please mention Marlboro Elementary School because the PTO will be receiving a portion of the proceeds. School Picture Day will be held on 9/30. Upcoming fall events consist of a planetarium assembly, a fit-a-thon, a fit-a-thon, Halloween boo bash, and a Thanksgiving pie sale. Additionally, the school store will begin on 9/13 and will be available on a bi-weekly basis. And the PTO is planning into fixing or replacing the broken slide on the playground. Mr. Caravello, is that the board's, is that the district's responsibility or is that a PTO responsibility?
Historically, I know the PTO, PTAs have tried to chip in to replace equipment when they can on the playgrounds.
Okay. I was just wondering, they had it on their list, but I didn't know if that was their
Yeah,
responsibility.
we assist where we can budgetarily if we have it budgeted. And then sometimes they actually are phenomenal with offering a helping hand to try to replace some of that stuff.
Thank you to Morel PTO.
Thank you. Robertsville?
Mr. G wrote this. So, Robertsville had an amazing opening. Our staff was so excited to welcome our students. We kicked off the year with our PTO-sponsored ice cream social. The turnout from families and staff was fantastic. We are so appreciative of the PTO for purchasing our second Gaga pit. Students have been using it during every recess period. The staff voted on our theme for the year and it was announced to students last Friday morning. This year, our theme is Robertsville Runs on Respect. The staff will collaborate and find ways to infuse this theme so that students truly internalize the importance of respect in all facets of life. We look forward to welcoming parents and guardians at Back to School Night on September 16th from 7 to 9. Robertsville will hold 2 sessions so that parents and guardians will have an opportunity to experience the presentations of both their children's teachers. September 16th is a 1-session day. Robertsville families receive a weekly newsletter every Sunday so they can read about all the great things that are happening throughout the week for our staff and students. And then Jacqueline Mazzarello added that the PTO had an amazing time putting together the back-to-school luncheon for the staff and teachers, and that reminders are our first pretzel sale is 9/16, first school store is 9/27, and the first dine out is 9/19.
Thank you. Marlboro Middle?
From Principal Milwaukee, we're excited to begin the new school year. Many thanks to everyone who played a part in preparing our school for the first day, custodians, teachers, and staff. Bulletin boards and classrooms were decorated and ready for students to return to school. We will begin the athletic programs and club registration this week. Yearbook pictures were taken today. Thank you to our PTO and parents for continuing the tradition of beginning the school year with a welcome back luncheon for staff. The luncheon is scheduled for this Friday. The first PTO meeting is set for September 17th at 9:45, and that will be in person. Back to school night is September 24th. We hope to see all of the parents that night. From Lauren and the PTO. Marlboro Middle School PTO hopes all our new 6th graders are doing well as our returning 7th and 8th grade students as well. All to a great new school year. These are some of the current fundraisers. PTO membership for new school year is now open. Join us or renew your dues for 2024-2025 school year. With your paid membership comes a weekly email each Sunday letting you know about current, upcoming PTO, and important school events and deadlines. Our first Dine Out fundraiser this year is Thursday, September 12th at Pizza Pasta Factory in Marlboro. Order either lunch or dinner and mention you are there for the MMS fundraiser. 15% of the sale will go to MMS PTO. Welcome back staff lunch will take place on Friday. Please help us raise money to throw our wonderful MMS teachers staff a welcome back lunch on 9/13. Donations can be made on ptboard.com. Spiritware. Order your Spiritware for new school year now. Online order form will close on Thursday, 9/12 to ensure delivery in time for our first school-wide School Spirit Day on 10/11. Various colors and logos available: t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, full zip hoodies, sweatshirts, flannel pants, and locker dry erase boards available for purchase for limited time. Birthday lockergrams, now for sale. Let us decorate your child's locker for their birthday. We will decorate the front of your student's locker with a happy birthday sign that includes their name and birthday, as well as some 3D embellishments. Outdoor movie night at MMS will take place on the courtyard on Thursday, October 10th at 7:15. Free admission for all students. Please register on PT board and be on the lookout for additional details.
Thank you. And then Marlboro Memorial, the update is from Mr. Pacifico and from the PTA. The MMS Difference Makers Club will present a transition assembly for the new 6th graders on September 13th. PTA Spiritware sales going on now and ends on September 15th. There's the virtual PTA meeting will be Tuesday, September 17th at 9:30 a.m. and a link to the meeting will be sent via email prior to that meeting. Back to school night is September 26th from 7 to 9 p.m. And just a reminder that September 26th is a half day for Marlboro Memorial students. Tryouts for soccer and field hockey are going on this week. Cross country starts next week. Sign up for after school clubs will take place towards the end of September, and more information will come out soon via email. The fall sports Spiritware are coming up soon. Coaches will send out order links soon enough. They had the first welcome back breakfast for the staff, so thank you to the families who donated. There are many birthday gram orders. They were received, and they have been putting them up on students' lockers on Fridays. Thank you. Scope.
Scope is thrilled to kick off the school year with a variety of fun and inclusive activities planned for all. We would like to extend our sincere thanks to the Giovanizzo family for partnering with us for the ESY ice cream truck event. The students and staff had a blast. We invite you to join us for our first membership meeting on September 23rd. To learn more, become a member, and stay up to date on upcoming events and announcements, please visit scopemarlboro.ptboard.com.
Thank you. CPAG?
Thank you to the CPAG co-leaders for sending me the update. CPAG co-leaders enjoyed meeting the members of the community at Marlboro Day this past Sunday. It was such a wonderful opportunity to provide information about CPAG. CPAG's first meeting of the school year will be virtual and will be on September 19th at 7:30 p.m. The agenda and link will be sent out through special services and posted to CPAG's Facebook page. CPAG co-leaders will have a table set up at all the back-to-school nights for each of the schools. Please stop by for information and learn how you can get actively involved.
Thank you. Okay, thank you everybody for the updates. Moving on to old business. Anybody have old business they want to bring up? New business? Okay. We're going to open it up to public comments. Oh, did you have something that you wanted to share on public? Yes, you can read. You had something you said you wanted to read.
Okay. Madam President, thank you for allowing me the floor this evening. I hadn't initially planned to attend this rescheduled meeting due to a prior commitment, but after recent developments following the August 20th meeting, I feel it's essential to address this matter directly. During that meeting, we discussed the board's goals for the 24-25 school year. One of the goals specifically focused on recognizing and supporting student achievement. Both Mrs. Seward and Mrs. Gandhi highlighted the importance of including students with special needs in these efforts, and I fully supported their points. I added that we should also include special needs children and those who are not the cream of the crop. To be crystal clear, I did not say, nor would I ever imply, that children with special needs are not the cream of the crop. The following day, the board received an email from CPAG co-leaders misrepresenting my words and requesting my removal from the Special Education Committee and my role as the liaison to CPAG. I want to set the record straight. I hope we include special needs children and children who are from all avenues of the schools. I've reviewed the meeting recordings multiple times, and my words are unmistakable. I want all children to have an opportunity to get recognized in some fashion. This was a clear misrepresentation of what I wanted to say. Using an advocacy group for personal attacks not only damages reputations, but is also counterproductive to the very children we are all here to support. No matter what our differences are, we are all here to support our children. I believe we can all agree that this behavior benefits no one, least of all our students. Since moving to Marlboro, I've been involved with CPAG starting when Mrs. Christy Hutchins chaired the group. I asked to be the CPAG liaison because of my passion and advocacy for children and parents that need my help. At the last CPAG meeting, there were only 4 people in attendance, the co-leader of CPAG, another member, and myself. I was told that I can't tell anybody what went on at the meeting because I am a member, but I'm not there as a board member, and that was fine. I was told then that as the liaison, I could attend the meetings that the co-leaders have with the Director of Special Services, but I've never been invited to any of those meetings, and I don't even know if they've had a meeting. At that meeting, I felt as if I felt as if they thought I was a Board of Education spy. If true advocacy is the priority, my offers for collaboration would have been met with engagement, not silence. Rather than rushing to judgment and calling for my removal, the appropriate course of action would have been to initiate the conversation, which I offered in my response to the CPAG letter. We must stop listening solely to respond and start listening to understand. As a lifelong educator, I'm dedicated to the success and well-being of all children, regardless of their abilities. This is not just professional for me, it's personal. I raised a child who received special services, and I'm a proud grandmother of six grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren. 3 of my grandchildren are receiving special services, 2 of them right here in Marlboro. This is my life's mission, and anyone who knows me understands that I will always advocate fiercely for the success of every child. My commitment to special education runs deep. It's not just a passing interest, it's an integral part of who I am. As a member of this board, I've set goals for myself, and while there's still some more work ahead, my dedication to doing what's right for our children remains unwavering. I'm determined to continue working collaboratively with CPAG and SCOPE parents, because I'm also a member of SCOPE, and all stakeholders to ensure that we provide the very best support for every child in Marlboro. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Miskowitz. And thank you for, bringing back the comments that were made, and then how you felt, and you felt that you were misrepresented. And I, appreciate that piece. I do just want to say one thing. I am not a member of CPAG any longer. I was, because I have children that receive special services here as well. I do just want to say one note is that since you referenced an email, I just want to say, and anybody could speak on public comments, obviously, that I think it wasn't, I don't want it to feel that, I don't want it to come off to the public like it was an attack. I just don't, I think it felt a little bit that way, and I understand your point that you may have felt that way. I just want to make sure that I'm clear, at least how I interpreted it was, I think when I read it, it seemed that they were just offended by the comment and brought that to attention. I can't speak to anybody's personal feelings. I can just, you felt a certain way and they did, and I can just see what I read. I just don't want, to your point, you wanted to clear your name, and I respect that wholeheartedly. Every board member has a right to do that. I just want to make sure it comes off, for me, that it didn't feel like that level of attack, but I appreciate the conversation. Thank you.
And I didn't want it to, it's not about me. It's about us working together. And we have to work together. That's our job here. And CPAG, SCOPE, we all have to work together. And I am more than willing to get along with all of these people. I don't care about the letter. That's over as far as I'm concerned now. But I want to work to bring SCOPE and CPAG together. And with Mrs. Tyrone's help, we can pull all of these pieces together. Right, Mrs. Tyrone? We could do this. And I think we're going to work well together now.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I agree. I'd like everybody to work cohesively as
Thank
well.
you.
Valentina, can I make a comment?
Mm-hmm.
I would be remiss if I didn't say that I think it is highly inappropriate that parents reached out to our board in an email to seek assistance, and they have been called out today and ridiculed for that seeking of assistance. So I wanted to put that input in there to discuss further.
Yeah, I have a question. So, Mrs. Bellomo, what exactly did you feel in what Dr. Miskowitz just said was ridiculing anybody?
Everything.
Anything specific?
Everything.
Oh. Well, I have to wholeheartedly disagree. I think it was a very well thought out statement. I think that anybody that were to listen to that video recording, which is on YouTube, can very easily decipher that that is not what Dr. Miskowitz's intent was. We were all discussing how to be inclusive, and that's exactly what Dr. Miskowitz was trying to talk about. And same thing with Mrs. Seward. We all were championing to get all of the kids in the community to be involved. I am a parent of a 504 child, and I want to sit there in the audience, and I want to be able to watch the accomplishments that my child can make, right? And that's what Dr. Miskowitz was advocating for. And I have to thank her wholeheartedly, not because I'm a board member, but also because I'm a parent.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, if we're discussing, I am very impressed by your career in advocating for special education services. I truly am. I know that you're passionate about what you do, and you're speaking from your heart, and I have a lot of respect for that. But with all of your experience and all of your training, maybe just recognizing that cream of the crop was a poor choice of words and offering an apology for being misunderstood. This isn't about pointing fingers and accusing a group of using their...
Turn your microphone on.
Can we just go one at a time now?
Yeah, just let her, and then you go after. Go ahead.
Sorry, I read the emails, and the offensiveness is not for us to determine whether or not they can feel that. I know what your intent was. I'm not accusing you of anything, so please don't take anything out on me. I was here, I was in the moment, everyone keeps mentioning that I was kind of the one that started the conversation for advocating for all children, but I don't have, excuse me, I don't have currently any children receiving special services, but I also don't have any children that are in honors programs. And to hear an average student be called not the cream of the crop can be offensive. It's not you that they were attacking. It was just what they felt. And this is, again, from the email that I was reading. So knowing your celebrated career in special services and all of your accomplishments, you should also be able to recognize that people can be offended, which is what Mr. Ballone was speaking about at PD, by how you choose your words. I know you didn't mean any harm by it. I actually think that it was just a misunderstood connotation. But not the cream of the crop is offensive to some people. It's like you can't decide whether or not someone is offended by that.
And I agree very much so. But the cream of the crop, the children that are valedictorian, the children that are always, getting honors, I didn't want, that is to me, the ones that are always being honored. I want everybody to be honored, just as you did.
Dr. Miskowitz, you're speaking to a trade school person. I understand wholeheartedly what you mean. I'm just asking you to recognize that in the future, moving forward, you'll just be more conscious of the words that we say here, because you can't control how people perceive them. You just have to, we're in a position where you have to really be conscious of how we say what we say here. That's all.
I couldn't agree with you more. So I wasn't going to bring this up, but I think it's important to, since we're discussing this. When that discussion was going on, as a parent of a 504, I was offended when you said kids with minor goals. It's no different, because my kids may have minor goals, but to bring that up, it could be offensive, but I know where your heart was. So I didn't come to you and say, why would you say that? Why would you sit there and make it seem like my kids have minor goals? I didn't. I took it for what it was. And that's how I took Dr. Miskowitz's statement as well.
Listen, I would never say to you, how dare you be offended by that? You're entitled to your opinion. Everyone has one. Everyone has feelings. I'm not here to determine whether or not, you know, there's plenty of things that we hear and read about ourselves as board members, and if I took every single one of them to heart, I wouldn't be as entertained. So I just want to make sure that there's not a continued amount of misconstrued information that a parent advisory group for special ed parents in the district is abusing their power to be offended. That's, to me, personally, I just feel the need to elaborate on you want the letter to be in the past, but you're also continuing with, like...
No, I disagree. I think what she was trying, or her intent, I'm going to speak for her because, and she can too, Dr. Miskowitz can as well.
No, go on.
But I read the letter, when she read the letter, the way I took it is, if people were offended, because apparently there were parents that were offended,
Apparently.
she doesn't know, or okay, a parent, she's not aware of who they are. She wasn't able to communicate directly and apologize. So she apologized, from what I understand, right? She just mentioned it, that
Admittingly that it was the wrong choice of words.
I think just,
No, let me finish my statement, please.
Go ahead.
So what I was trying to say is that her letter, what she read right now, is to just say that that's not what she meant. She was clarifying. She wasn't being defensive. She wasn't sitting there and negating. I'm not done speaking, I'm sorry. And she was not negating anything that anybody felt. All she was doing is clarifying that that's not what her intent was.
Listen,
That's
you guys
it.
should
That
be
wasn't
ashamed
the
of
letter
yourselves.
at
You're
all.
making a mockery of what you already did.
That was
You
not...
should read.
I listened
I'm embarrassed.
attentively,
I just want to say this. We can go back and forth about this for quite some time. I'm just going to say this. I hear what you're saying. I think I'm with you. I think where I got lost was after I shouldn't have said that. I think it should have just ended there. And I'm sorry for saying something. Listen, we've all made mistakes in things we've said. Nobody sitting here is perfect. We're trying our best every day. I'm sorry for something being misconstrued. Would have been okay for me. And then leaving it. But a parent advisory group who's just trying to help other parents, and then they come to us and just say, hey, a comment offended this group, would have just been sufficient to say, you know, I'll choose my words wisely next time, instead of making it feel like they were attacking when that's not. Listen, we could all, perception is key here. However you perceived is how you perceived it. My own perception was it was not an attack. It was these words bothered me that were said in a meeting. I'm sorry for the words I said, would have been okay for me. But then we go on to kind of attack them almost to say they shouldn't have said that. They have every right. We can't tell people how to feel. People felt offended, they felt offended. I think that's just kind of where I just got lost for a second. But we could debate this all night. You said your statement. I think we're going to open to public comments. People could speak or not speak, but go ahead. You want to say something?
I am hoping that we put an end to this, because we have a bigger job to do than argue amongst ourselves here. So
Say it every day.
Let's move forward and get over this little hump. We're better than that.
Can we just wrap up on one sentiment before we lose the opportunity to address it? Because we received another email today that Scope was approached and confronted about...
Scope was?
I'm sorry, CPAC, I'm so sorry, thank you. Was confronted at Marlboro Day and at their table while donating their time and volunteering their time by a family member of yours. And I just want to make sure that our board emails stay like within a board discussion.
Board, nobody saw an email from me. No one. No one.
Dr. Miskowitz.
No.
Are you saying that
The
they
letter
lied?
is a
No
lie?
one.
Are you saying that that's a lie then?
That somebody saw the letter?
Your daughter
I-
was the email today. I'm repeating an email.
Yeah. No one saw the letter from me.
So that then
No.
you're
Hang
saying
on a
the email
second.
that came in
Hold
is a
on.
lie?
We are talking about not discussing stuff there were emails that were sent to the board confidentially, but that can be brought up in public? And I have an answer to that. But that email that came today was addressed to the board.
Well, I'm
It was a
not
private
revealing-
email. Hang on. It was a private
Same
email.
as the CPAG
yet-
email.
Right, but the email was sent to Dr. Miskowitz and the board.
This is what I need to
She wanted to
understand.
respond
Hold on,
on
let her
behalf
finish.
of, she was defending herself because they asked for her
So much wrong
resignation.
with this.
That's not coming and talking about, hey, this offended us. There was an agenda. Or whatever it was, but nothing that Dr. Miskowitz said, and again, everyone can please watch the YouTube recording of the board meeting. Dr.
Dee, it
Miskowitz
doesn't
apologized.
matter what
Dr.
they-
Miskowitz apologized, and her statement right now was just saying that that's not what she meant, and that she has a lifelong career where she's dedicated her life to help kids with special needs.
So
That's
just to put
all
it out
that
there,
she addressed.
You're okay with our parent advisory group for a special ed committee, a special ed community, being confronted about an email that they sent the board by a non-board member? It's just a yes or no. Are you okay with that kind of
Don't
behavior?
ask me that question, because I'm never going to be okay with that. But I don't know what happened, and it's, again, have you spoken to the other party? You're basing your comments
was
off of
there
one
when it
email. No,
we
you
were
weren't,
there.
because I was there. I know, Val, do you remember? So you were not there. You just lied right now at the board
Okay.
meeting.
Okay.
It was me, Val, and Mr. Lolansky who were
You know
there.
I wasn't on the grounds of Marlboro. You know my whereabouts
That's not
that
what I'm
day.
saying. I'm saying
You
when
know,
that
you have the bear
happened,
tag on
when
me.
that
Can we please
conversation
bring it
happened,
back to the
I was
meeting?
there.
The gaslighting is
I was
wild.
there. It's not.
All right.
It's not. I'm not
All right,
gaslighting.
let's bring it back.
Tina,
Go ahead,
hang
Danielle.
on.
There's a
Mrs.
a
Mendez, did
larger
you and I have a
issue.
conversation about this?
All right, can
I
we-
wanna know.
we have
No,
many
hang
people
on.
talking
Do
at
you
one time.
remember? Okay, fine.
Hold on. Hold on 1 second. We just have to pause because we're arguing and nothing productive is coming from this conversation. I think you wanted to ask a question
Yeah,
about the
just-
policy.
To address the larger issue, these are individual occurrences, but anytime parents in our community come to the board with legitimate concerns, they should never be felt intimidated, bullied, silenced to express those concerns with the fear of being called out, completely demoralized with their concerns or invalidated with the concerns. That is a general statement. We took an oath to be the liaison between our parents and community members and to serve on a board that recognizes their concerns. And by coming here tonight and using this as a forum to make their concerns not legitimate or to downplay them is completely inappropriate and does not stand for the oath that we took when we joined this position to serve our community. That's the larger issue, not individual occurrences, but the fact that parents should always feel like they could reach out to us, be heard, and then be able to have their confidentiality, especially when it's involving their students and things, their children. They should never be demoralized in a public forum that's going to be viewed on all kinds of platforms because they chose to write that email. That's completely inappropriate and not something that, I stand by, because I took the oath, I took it seriously, and I would not have come here and made anybody feel inadequate or the concerns not be legitimate.
Yeah, and just, go ahead, Chad.
I just want to say one thing. I think what Sue had mentioned, and I think what we all believe in, is we need to work better together, right? So I don't know if you talked to CPAG after that email was sent about this, but I believe it could have been handled way differently. I believe Sue addressed the fact that an email was sent mischaracterizing her words from an advocacy organization that is representing our district, right? I don't think anyone would ever demoralize parents. Nobody would ever demoralize children. No one ever bring children into this. This is what happened. I think nobody worked together to begin with when this complaint happened. I don't know if anyone approached you personally to express their concerns about this, or an email was just sent saying, please resign now. I think it could have been handled differently, and I think because of that, this all boils down to us working better together as colleagues. That's what needs to happen. End of story.
The
Let's
people,
stop fighting about this. Let's stop accusing each other.
but the
and
people
work better together.
that are sitting on this board are not CPAG. CPAG is a parent advisory group. They're parents in the community. Their concerns are legitimate because they are parents of students in this community. Infighting on the board, that's one thing, but going at parents and calling them out in a public platform for expressing concerns
address
is
parents?
not appropriate.
They address the comments.
When you
I think
are
just to
calling
bring
out
it back,
the
'cause
advisory group is
the email that
inappropriate.
I think in your statement, where I think, again, I said this before, where I got lost in it and where I was with you with the I'm sorry, and then I was not when it came to calling out the email. I think the problem, and I understand what you're saying, is that we're calling out an email that was sent to board members. Now, I do want to be clear. Emails to board members under Oprah, right, can be requested by Mr. Caravello. We get them all the time, right? Separate when they request it in the public. This is different. What you're saying, and what I didn't agree with, is the part where we call out the email as board members. I just don't want us to sit here and start calling out, this one emailed me and this one emailed me, because it could bring a sense of like, I'm not going to email them now because they're going to say my name or talk about it. I think that was the part, again, you have a nice career. No one's taking that away. I think the problem is referencing the email, I think is where.
So where was this when, not last meeting, but the meeting before, when Mr. Petruno brought up a couple of emails that the parents sent while we were all in a board meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Where was the same direction and directive given to the board?
There was no name of the parent mentioned or referencing
I
it.
don't think Dr. Miskowitz mentioned anybody's
It
name.
mentioned CPAG, so there's only two co-leaders.
But it's not a parent name, correct?
I have a question. Vinny, can
You reference
clarify just
co-leaders
for
of CPAG. There's only
two.
Wow.
Just for clarification, Vinny, were any of our current emails regarding the situation Oprah? To your knowledge?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Thank you.
Okay. I think we can go back and forth on this topic. I would just say, I think we should wrap it up. Thank you for your statement and what you said to clear. I understand. I understand that. Okay. You could turn your mic on so that they could hear you.
There's more to this than has come out here.
Okay.
There's more to this, but I'm not going to bring it up. As I said before, I want this to be over with. I want us to work together.
Okay.
As Chad said, we have to work, have to work as a team. We are here for the children, and we have to work together. But there is more to this than is being said right now.
Thank you.
I'll tell you at a different time.
Thank you.
What? I want
Not
to
you,
apologize
not
to CPAG on her behalf because
You
this
don't
is
have to
completely
apologize
You don't
to
need
me.
to
No, I'm
apologize
sorry.
for
Yeah,
anybody's
you
behalf.
did.
You should
I
apologize for your
I
behavior, but not
apologize.
anybody else's.
Well,
Thank
okay,
you.
all right.
Okay, okay.
I
Thank you.
apologize to them
Thank
in
you.
a letter.
All right.
Thank
I
you.
apologize
CPAG,
to
I am
them.
truly
Okay.
sorry for this
Thank you.
spectacle that is going on right now. That
right.
you guys don't deserve this.
Thank you. We're going to move on to public comments. Anybody listed?
Would anybody like to speak?
Okay.
Seeing none?
Motion to close public comments. Do I have a second? Michael? Any discussion? Okay. Executive session resolution. Be it resolved that in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, the Marlboro Township Board of Education shall conduct a closed executive session pursuant to the exceptions prescribed by NJSA 10-4-12 for the purpose of discussing matters of attorney-client privilege, student matter, MIEA negotiations discussion. It is anticipated the length of time of this executive session will be 60 minutes and that action will not be taken in public after the executive session. Be it further resolved that the minutes of the executive session will be released when the need for confidentiality in accordance with NJSA 10-4-12 no longer applies. Have a second? Any discussion? Okay, thank you.